Hey, what's good, y'all? It's Stinger Beats, and today I'm going to be going over some of the do's and don'ts of reaching out to artists and sending them beats. All the information compiled in this video is from me, from personal experience, and from a bunch of artist friends that I reached out to. So shout out to all the people on the screen, because without them, this video would not be possible. So every producer wants an artist on their beats. It's like being on Discord without Doritos. They just don't go without each other. And one of the main ways to get artists on your beats is to reach out to them, whether it be through Instagram, email, YouTube, SoundCloud, whatever. Reaching out or DMing an artist is one of the best ways to get artists on your beats. But there are a lot of things that artists like and artists don't like when it comes to producers sending them beats. And that's what I'm going to be going over today. All right, so the first do feel free to reach out to artists and send them beats. I know that's kind of a given what we're talking about today, but a lot of producers aren't comfortable with sending artists their beats, whether it be because they value their beats too heavily. They're like, oh my gosh, it's my baby, I can't let anybody else touch it. Or there's like self-esteem issues. They just don't think their beat is good enough for that artist. But I think you should never doubt yourself when sending beats to artists. I've been thoroughly surprised by artists picking out beats that I thought were terrible that I sent to them, and they picked it and they're like, hey, I like this, I'm gonna use it. And I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that one. So even though you don't expect them to like a certain beat or like any of your beats, they just might. So never be afraid. The worst they could say is no. All right, now the first don't be rude when reaching out to artists. Now that might sound like it's a natural thing, like, yeah, why would I want to be rude to the artist? They're the one that I want on my beat. But you would be surprised on how many artist friends that I hit up that said, just be polite and I'll be more likely to use your beats. Like, so many producers will hit up artists and just say, need beats? Or yo, can I send you some beats or something like that? And that's not very enticing as an artist. If I was an artist and I saw that, I'd most likely just ignore it because it seems very spammy, like they're not putting in the time, like they're just hitting up every artist that they see. All right, now the next do. This one was kind of iffy with my artist friends that I reached out to, but this one is be direct with the prices of your beats. The reason I say it's iffy is because most of them said be direct with it, but the other half said don't charge for your beats up front, try to build a connection first and then they'll want to buy beats. As a producer, this is something that I'm constantly divided on. Like, I meet somebody, I'm like, hey, can I send you beats? And then it's like, okay, yeah, you gotta pay for those though. Like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I made that, that's quality time, that's money right there. But on the other hand, it's like, I reached out to you and now I want you to give me money. So if you are dead set on charging an artist for a beat, be direct with your prices. Say, this is my beat, this is how much I charge. That way it's not coming out of the blue later. All right, the next don't spam artists after you've sent the beat asking them, hey, did you use the beat? Hey, did you rap on this beat? That is one of the most annoying things an artist can go through. Not talking through personal experience, but there's plenty of other things related to that as a producer. Like when someone sends you loops and says, hey, did you use those loops? Hey, did you use those? It's like, bro, chill. If an artist likes your beat, they'll use the beat. And they'll most likely contact you once they've used the beat. If they don't like your beat, they're not going to use the beat. So just lay off or try sending some more beats later on. Don't just spam them constantly asking if they use the beat, because even if they do want to use the beat, that's really gonna put them off. Like, dude, quit spamming me, you're making me not want to use your beat. So do what's best for yourself and don't spam the artist. The next do include the key and BPM of the beat you are sending them. So many artists told me that not having the key and or the BPM is just a general frustration, and it's so easy to do as a producer. You have the BPM right there. If you made the melody, you have the key. If not, you could just go through key detection websites and find out the key of the melody. It's very, very simple, and it's taking some weight off the shoulders of the artist and or the engineer. The next don't treat them like a pawn to rap on your beats. You want to treat them like a person because they are a person. You can't just treat them as lyrics on your beat. Be cordial with artists. Don't be afraid to ask them how they're doing sometimes and support their posts and respond to their stories, stuff like that, because they are people, and this is going to help you build way more genuine connections with artists you want to work with. The next do include some experimental beats in the packs you send to artists. If you're sending beats to Lil Uzi Vert, usually producers, me included, would send Lil Uzi Vert type beats. It's kind of just a given. But a bunch of artists said that don't just send beats in their style, send other beats that would fit their style as well. So I could send Lil Uzi Vert some rage beats, which I wouldn't do because I'd probably get smacked. I could send him like some experimental glow beats, like just more experimental stuff that the artist may not have heard yet. And this is good for the artist because it allows them to jump outside their realm of expertise. And once they see that new type of beat, they'll go to you for those new types of beats because you're the one that introduced them to them. All right, the next don't just shoot for the biggest artist you could possibly shoot for, especially if you have a low following. While there's really no harm in doing it, like they may respond, but there's a very, very rare chance. That time could be spent better just hitting up an artist more in your realm. I recommend if you have like 500 Instagram followers to hit up artists with less than 2,000 Instagram followers. That way you have a better chance of actually getting a hold of the artist and engaging with them rather than just trying to send beats out to Trippie Redd and say, yo, let me send you beats. I don't think Trippie Redd's gonna respond, man. Hey, he just might though, so I mean, it might be worth it, who knows? All right, so the next do is do your research on the artist you're trying to send beats to. If you're sending beats to an artist, you shouldn't have to ask them, hey, what kind of beats do you want? Because that kind of shows that you haven't been paying attention to what they've been releasing and you haven't actually listened to their music. While it is good to ask what kind of different beats they want, be sure to include like, hey, I've seen you do rage and hyperpop. Is there any other kind of types of beats that you would want in this pack? Just to show that you've done your research and you know what they do. All right, so the next don't kind of ties in with the spamming don't. And this is don't be afraid to follow up. Just do not spam. You could send a pack to an artist and then a week later ask them, hey, did you end up using any of those beats? If they say, yeah, I used those beats, that's great. If they say, no, I didn't, leave it at that. If they don't respond, leave it at that still. Like I said earlier, if an artist likes your beats, they're gonna use them, and if they don't, they're not. All you could do is move on and try to work with another artist. All right, the next do is to support the artist. So many people, including myself in my earlier days, I would just hit up an artist, ask to send them beats, and then send them the beats if they wanted them. After that, I wouldn't really engage with the artist at all. A great way to show you care about an artist is to like their posts and comment on their recent stuff, like their stories, engage with them, swipe up on their stories if they're asking questions on their stories. Throw something in those questions. Like, it's very, very easy things to do that take a little bit of time that show that you're engaged with their profile and not just wanting to send them beats. And this ties in with our next don't. Do not like an artist's most recent 6 posts at the same time. That characteristic is reserved for spam promoters. I can't tell you how many times MSB promo, free Instagram likes or whatever, liked 40 of my most recent posts. It's like, dude, that's a very spammy behavior. There are plenty of other ways to show that you care and show that you're engaging with their profile. The next do is kind of branching out from sending beats to artists, like introducing yourself, but this is to create an email list of artists that you've worked with and send them beats either monthly or weekly. I do this currently and I've had more songs made with my beats because of that email list. Just be sure to have consent from them. If they send you their email saying, hey, send beats, don't take that email and put it in your email list. Ask them, hey, would you want to be included in my monthly or weekly beat packs? I send them out, they're free for nonprofit, whatever. If they say yes, boom, add them in. Don't do it without their consent. And this yet again ties into our next don't. Do not BCC. And what I mean by that is don't send packs to multiple artists at a time using BCC, because that yet again is very, very spammy behavior. Anytime someone sends me loops with a BCC on it, I automatically just don't use them. I'll block them if they keep doing it. Like, it's such spammy behavior. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it really, really is. And also by sending those BCC emails, it shows that it's not tailored to that artist. You want to send beat packs that are tailored to the artist style, obviously, but by sending those, it just shows that you're sending it out to a general audience of artists. So I don't have another do, but I'm just going to go into the next and last don't. This one is simple, stupid simple, but people still do it. Do not share an artist's email around. The last thing artists want is to be sent beats by people they don't even know. And I know this happens a lot with bigger artists where your name might slip through the cracks because they're working with a bunch of producers. But with smaller artists, they know who they're working with. If they see a producer they're not working with sending beats, and better yet as a BCC, they're just going to completely disregard it. There's no gain or glory in sending out an artist's email. And because people sell or give out artist emails, they have to constantly make new emails because they just keep getting beats sent in from producers that they don't know. So speaking for the artist, just don't send out people's emails. So that's going to completely cover all the do's and don'ts that I've been sent by my artist friends and that I've learned from personal experience. If you have any more do's or don'ts as an artist or a producer, put them in the comments down below just so we have some more information to clear the air. I wish you all the best of luck in working with artists you want to work with, and hopefully some of these do's and don'ts help you in your journey. That's going to be about it. Peace.